I mean, all of what I do has to do with communication. And because I was so bad at communication in the past, that's why I've got this drive to learn always about communication. And you are excellent at that. And that is deeply profound, because I could lose everything. Like, we don't know how, social media could disappear.
Yeah.
Emails could be wiped out, but I would still have that strength and that confidence, expertise that you gave me, and I can still do business no matter what.
What is up, everybody? I am here today with my dear sweet friend and client, Natalia, and we've got a hell of a story for you. It's packed with logical stuff, so like numbers and achievements and funnels, and packed with a lot of emotional and gut-wrenching pieces. And so I'm not going to take too long. Natalia has some amazing news. We just did $21,500 in a month. But before we get to that, Natalia, why don't you introduce yourself to my audience and tell us a little bit about yourself?
Wow, I've been waiting for this moment for a long time. I've been working with Yahya for many years. I am a storyteller and storytelling coach. I train speakers to tell stories on stage so that they don't bore their audience to death and they captivate them with stories. So that's me. I've been doing this for decades. I am a trained actress, trained teacher and teacher trainer, and I used storytelling in the past in education to transform the lives of children, and I trained teachers in storytelling. And over the past 5 years, I've been training speakers and entrepreneurs when I started my business online. And I met Yahya, I think it's like 4 years ago. I'm going to answer all the questions that you are thinking of doing from the get-go. I just have so much to say about Yahya. It's not very easy to find a coach that fully gets you and understands you deeply, not only from the numbers, not only understands where you want to head to in your business and giving you the strategies, but really understand you at a soul level, at a mind level. Yahya is extremely intelligent and deep, profound. I had so many doubts at the beginning. It took me almost 2 years to work with him because I was like, who is him? Can he coach Westerners? I mean, that was the biggest thing. And until, the human connection, the depth, there was a whole year of the deep conversations in the DMs that made me fully trust him. So I've been working with Yahya for years, and I'm not thinking of stopping because I grow so much with Yahya business-wise and as a human, as a person, because you are ideal. Yahya is a very fatherly figure, in the sense that he's got a family, kids, he's well-grounded, he's got a business that works. He's not an entrepreneur that started yesterday saying, I can make you 100K a month, and no. And so all of that makes me respect him, trust him, and I know him now. I got to know him deeply as a person. And being in your group, Yahya, it's like, if not the best group that I've been to. Yours is a container with people, well, like us, like intelligent. I consider myself intelligent. Go interrupt me.
Yeah. How about we do this? Because I have some questions for you, and let's get into the meat and potatoes, and we can go through whatever my container looks like.
Yes,
I'm
so unruly. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you kind of sort of covered my next question for you was, what were things like before? What did it look like? What did your funnel look like? What did your acquisition conversion process look like? What did life look like for you? Do you want to give us a little bit about that?
Definitely. So if we think of funnel, I've always worked with Facebook as a funnel. That's where I acquire my clients. And when I started working with you, for me it also made sense because I saw that you worked with Facebook as the primordial funnel. The way I used to get my clients was through the method of a launch. I used to launch every 3 months, sometimes every 4 months. And it worked at the beginning 4 or 5 years ago. It worked when it was a novelty. And then the strategy sort of stopped working. And the problem with my launches is that you compress a lot of energy and a lot of stress in very little time. And then in the 3 months of fulfillment to my clients, I neglected my content on Facebook until it came the moment of the launch, and I would crack on with content and then do the launch. And that many times did not work because I wasn't understanding completely the algorithm and warming up my audience and establishing those relationships. So I exhausted the warm audience that I had built in my launches, which were very simple, very easy for me to acquire the clients. And once I exhausted that, I wasn't nurturing a new audience for this type of strategy of launches to work.
Let me recap this. So what it sounds to me like was you were working in bursts. Yeah. Like, let's go, let's get a bunch of people, let's announce, let's do the launch, let's sign on a bunch of people. And then you were spending all your time and energy in coaching and serving and delivering. Yeah. And so it was bursts of, let's say, lead generation, and then bursts of conversion, and then bursts of delivery.
Yes.
Right? Throughout the year. I remember this is originally you had, I think, 3 launches in a year or 4 launches in a year, something along those lines. One of the main things we talked about was what recurring revenue looks like across the whole year instead of a burst of money and then, trickling down and then a burst of money. So this is good stuff. We're going to talk about what we did. But fun question for you, and you kind of hinted at it. I don't want to take too long on it. Why did you join Record Breaker? What did convince you that I can work with women?
Not women. No, not women. It was Caucasians, Christians. Does he understand how we think? I'm being truly honest. I like speaking things that maybe other people won't speak due to political correctness, but that was really what was in my mind, honestly. And then why did I join? Because I trusted you. Because we had conversations on the DMs, conversations on Zoom calls. We really were on the same page when it comes to, I'm very spiritual and philosophical. So for me, that connection was primordial. And I could see that you had tons of real experience. Another reason why I joined you is because I could see genuinely the people that you coached, the amount of money that you helped them make, and the mindset that you got them to get there. Those are the reasons why I joined you.
Thank you. So let's talk about the things we worked on for your funnel for acquisition, because we talked about how you were 4 times a year, 2 monthly. And let's talk about what it is like working together, and what were the main things we worked on.
The big things are content. Okay, so this is what my funnel looks like now. You put the biggest focus on content on one platform that we choose, and mine is Facebook. Becoming extraordinary at writing and creating content is the best thing that we personal brands must do. And the way you teach it is tactical and is profound, because the focus you help us put is in understanding people's psychology, understanding human behavior, and writing from that point of view. It's actually a very compassionate point of view, is really writing for them, writing the stories from their perspective. And And what it looks like, once a month in your group, we sit down and we create a piece of content with you. And it's so uncomfortable to do that because, I mean, it's like we all love learning. And we can become info junkies, joining programs and learning and learning and learning. But who gets the stuff done? Then you never do it. And then you complain about these programs. Oh, I never got the things done. It's because, well, you're different. Because with you, we learn the frameworks, we learn the understanding, the psychology, but we get it done right there and then. Super uncomfortable. But it forces you to do it. Put it every time I'm on the content creation call with you. Yeah. You know me. I'm an action taker. Yeah, we're doing a story. We're doing. I do it right there. Post it. Coach, it's done. Yeah. I post it right there and then. Yeah.
So content is one thing. What does your funnel look like now after working
funnel
together?
Looks like this.
From acquisition to conversion to nurture. From acquisition to nurture.
Yeah.
To conversion to service delivery.
Yeah. So it looks like this: content, masterclass, calls, client. So with my content, people warm up to me. They see me as an authority. They trust in me. They know what I'm about and my content. And they get converted to come to my masterclass. But not only to come to my masterclass, but they're already converted in everything I do, even to work with me afterwards from the content. From masterclass, calls with people that were present in the masterclass, and conversion into client, into a client working long-term with me. There was a big fear for me to do that because I was very attached to the format of like, no, I just do 3-month process all together, a big batch working together. And it feels good. I must say, I like that. Like, because I come from the background of teaching groups in school, there's always like the beginning of the year, the end of the year. And I like that format. So, which doesn't mean I'm not going to go back to that format as well. But you pushing me to have more freedom in the format and closing some one-on-one clients helped me believe in myself that higher level clients would want to work with me one-on-one just because. Not because they are inside Captivate, that is my program, and it's the big name. I want to be, the hype of I want to be in there. But just because they want to be with me.
Yeah, that's cool. That's very cool. Let's talk about results. I know you've just successfully just closed an event a couple of weeks ago, one of many, and that's something that we have in the foreseeable future for you. So let's talk about results.
So I remember there was a time because let's put it this way: being an online business owner with the strategy that we use, where we use Facebook content to drive the business, it is a very loose structure. I can't say that I clock in at 9 and I clock out at 5. Sometimes you're engaged the whole day because you're using social media, and that was something that I brought to the table to some of the coaching calls. And you said 2 hours, Natalia. Because I would be creating a piece of content and engaging and with the excuse of building those relationships in the comments of the content and in the DMs, etc. I'll be all day, and that is not sustainable. That's not how we humans were made, to be in front of a computer or a mobile phone all day. So I kept it up to 2 hours of social media. So that is my nurturing process. I create a piece of content, I post it, and I engage with it and engage with messengers for 2 hours. And then I switch off and I have my life. I go for walks all day. I'm in nature. I'm enjoying life all day. Like, I sometimes feel this is so unfair. Other people are working all day and I'm not. But I mean, well, we are. Even when we go for a walk, we're strategizing, we're thinking. My brain is there all the time. I'm still a little bit of a one girls band. I am working on building a team. But through you, this is something really cool about your coaching calls, because you show us completely what you do. When you hire someone new, when you hire a team member, you show us everything. How you manage these people, what works, what doesn't, how to communicate with these people. So communication is a big win for me, working with you. I mean, all of what I do has to do with communication, and because I was so bad at communication in the past, that's why I've got this drive to learn always about communication, and you are excellent at that. That's a big win, learning from your constant experiences in your weekly calls and having those discussions, bringing to the table things that we are struggling with in our business in a very open manner, in a very vulnerable way. It's such a safe place. Man, this is very big. I know many people that go to coaching containers just to get leads. This is so common. Just to work with the people that are in the coaching container. They come with a very scarce mindset and they're completely uncoachable. I've seen that so much. And that does not happen in your space. So it's a space where we are professionals and we feel so comfortable there to completely open up, show all of our weaknesses that are happening in the business, so that then we can turn them. In one call, we turn them.
Yeah.
That is very powerful. There aren't many spaces like that, Yahya. And you provide that because you've got a solid foundation. Like, man, you're ideal.
Thank you. This was a mission I started on two years ago to build a space for people like that. I'm so glad to hear that, Natalia. So let's talk big picture results, because one of the things that I'm going to mention here that I don't think you've mentioned so far is that you are an artist. You are first and foremost an artist and a teacher. That's you. Yeah. What does life look like?
And a human rights activist.
Yeah. And so what does life look like for you now, with whatever results, whatever you've learned from me, whatever you're doing right now, besides the event and the launch, and we're going to have lots more of those? How has life changed?
How is life? I know that I will always be okay financially, no matter what I do.
That's big. That's huge.
Yeah. That is huge, because I mean, when you, I was struggling a minute ago when you said, give me the big results numbers, and I'm terrible at that.
Like, you don't like numbers.
I just go with the flow. Everything is fine. Like, oh, numbers look bigger now in the bank. Like, I think so that, I don't recommend that to others, but that's how I've been all my life, knowing that everything is going to be okay. But now I know it deeply. It's not just a hope or wishful thinking. I know it because with you, I've gained a profound confidence. You always raise my confidence. You always, in the group, you always make me feel so good. You always talk highly of me, and that is massive for me, because I come from really not believing in myself. Oh man, I was about to cry. I'm not going to do it, but yes, I grew up in a completely crazy environment, but crazy, lunatic, fun, artistic. Both my parents are artists, great minds. My father is an architect and a crazy, lunatic dreamer, author, teacher. My mother is a singer. Famous traditional jazz singer in Argentina, the big name. My parents created events, artistic events, music events, for decades, international jazz festivals. I grew up in that environment with crazy minds all around me, great talents all around me. From the 80s, I was born in 82, in the year 82, and so at home I met the people before it was a thing, like all the new age world I saw them before they were a thing. Big artists that then they were little and then turned into big artists, because we had a very historical restaurant there in Argentina where all the misfits will come, and so I've been exposed to all of that, and went to metaphysic meetings from a very early age. So I've been exposed to a lot of stuff, but I never had a specific talent, and I couldn't play music. I couldn't do it. I later learned that I was dyslexic, so I always thought I would never amount to anything. And then I went through 7.5 years of a very abusive marriage. Those things leave you with a lot of doubt on yourself. And now I don't feel that way. It's like these last few years, and you had such a profound influence in my inner strength, in getting rid of past traumas, especially traumas with men. So that's a big thing. You made me believe in men. And it was one time that you said that to me. You said, why don't you take this chance to start believing in men again? It was when I signed up with you for the first time. That was so profound. I'm so grateful you did that, because I thought, yes, let's do that. And that is deeply profound, because I could lose everything. Like, we don't know how, social media could disappear.
Yeah.
Emails could be wiped out, but I would still have that strength and that confidence, expertise that you gave me, and I can still do business no matter what. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. That I really like to tell people that if you understand not the what we do, but the why we do, the what we do, you figured it out. You will always be safe. Most people spend too long understanding the what to do, like have a tactic, do a reel, have a fancy title, do a whatever. They don't understand why we're doing what we're doing. Once you understand the why, once you understand the frameworks and the logic behind the what, you don't need the what. You can invent the what, and you can be fine in offline or online. So I have a, and we're gonna wrap up with this, but like, I have a fun question for you. What is one thing that you learned from me, or more than one thing? I'll happily accept compliments. That you learned from me that I didn't set out to teach you, that I didn't intentionally set out to teach you.
Well, yeah, can I shift that? Because I think that I just answered that. Trusting in men, that was the big thing.
Okay.
The tactical thing that I learned,
okay.
So the tactical thing was when you taught us, when we were creating content that converts, when you taught us the structure, the weekly structure, how to understand human psychology across a week for content creation, and understanding the algorithm, that was a game changer. Really, really big. And I remember when I first learned it, I was like, but tell me exactly, what do I post a Monday and a Tuesday? And you were like, come on, Natalia, you're so experienced, you can play with it. And I needed that structure. And
scaffolding, you called it scaffolding.
Scaffolding. Well, we call that in the teaching industry. It's a methodology. And it worked. You gave us the scaffold, and now I feel that freedom, that I can let go of that scaffold. I understand the system.
Yeah.
And I'm free now.
That's amazing. Natalia, last question. What would you say to other Natalias out there? Because I have a feeling a lot of people are going to resonate with what you said.
Trust. That is what I would say. Trust. Take the leap and trust. Let go. And I would say it's extraordinary to work with Yahya. It's extraordinary to work with a man. I worked with women, and it's wonderful. We want to be amongst women and feel that caring, that love. But when it comes to business strategies, solid foundations, I would say to you, woman, my other Natalia, trust a man like Yahya, because business needs structure and solid foundations. Then you can bring in your feminine energy to radiate, attract the people you want, but work on those foundations. Yeah.
Thank you so much. That's a beautiful message. I think masculine and feminine both have their place and they offset each other. I don't think there should be one extreme. You need both. And it's a beautiful answer. Thank you, Natalia. I hope everybody who's watching has found some learning in this, some inspiration in this. Once again, thank you very much. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you, Natalia. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Yahya.